My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. And to read my writing and to see my latest CNN appearances and my MSNBC appearances, you can go to hagoodman.com. WikiLeaks 35 is out. WikiLeaks 35 is out, and of course, I left out of my intro the RT appearance. My RT appearance is below in a link to RT's Crosstalk. I look forward to future appearances on Crosstalk and other RT shows very soon. WikiLeaks 35 is out. I'm going to read you first Assange statement on the US election. I view Julian Assange to be a hero. I view WikiLeaks to be heroes. So the men and women of WikiLeaks have done a great service to the United States of America in a world where New York Times journalists and other publications are giving John Podesta and the Clinton campaign articles to edit. In a society where CNN has two people, Donna Brazile and Wolf Blitzer, colluding on questions with the Clinton campaign. In a world where the FBI director could not find intent, literally basically saying that Hillary Clinton was too stupid, she was too ignorant and naive to realize that 22 top secret emails with special access program intelligence on an unencrypted private server connected to a BlackBerry the NSA said she couldn't use. Literally, she was too stupid to believe, Hillary Clinton, that that was bad. So there was no intent to break laws. That's the type of world we live in. Meanwhile, Chelsea Manning, who is a whistleblower, a legitimate, honest whistleblower, who helped this country with information that the government wanted to hide. Chelsea Manning is in prison, living a life of torture, had her second suicide attempt. That is the type of world we live in. In that type of world, WikiLeaks is very much needed because it informs the public and it sheds light upon all the information the government does not want you to know, especially the inner workings of a campaign that might win today. Now, I believe Trump, if everything's fair, Trump wins. If there's election fraud, almost certain, that's the way the Clinton campaign operates. We know from Bernie Sanders, another reason why WikiLeaks DNC emails are important. WikiLeaks is important. We know Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. 4 other officials, DNC officials, were forced to resign because of DNC WikiLeaks emails. WikiLeaks has shed light upon a very corrupt system. I'm going to get right now to a statement Julian Assange made. Assange statement on the U.S. election by Julian Assange, November 8, 2016. In recent months, WikiLeaks and I personally have come under enormous pressure to stop publishing what the Clinton campaign says about itself to itself. That pressure has come from the campaign's allies, including the Obama administration, and from liberals who are anxious about who will be elected U.S. president. On the eve of the election, it is important to restate why we have published what we have. The right to receive and impart true information is the guiding principle of WikiLeaks, an organization that has a staff and organizational mission far beyond myself. Our organization defends the public's right to be informed. This is why, irrespective of the outcome of the 2016 U.S. presidential election, the real victor is the U.S. public, which is better informed as a result of our work. The U.S. public has thoroughly engaged with WikiLeaks election-related publications, which number more than 100,000 documents. Millions of Americans have pored over the leaks and passed on their citations to each other and to us. It is an open model of journalism that gatekeepers are uncomfortable with, but which is perfectly harmonious with the First Amendment. We publish material given to us if it is of political, diplomatic, historical, and ethical importance, and which has not been published anywhere. When we have materials that fulfill this criteria, we publish. When we had information that fit our editorial criteria, which related to the Sanders and Clinton campaign, DNC leaks, and the Clinton political campaign and foundation, Podesta leaks. No one disputes the public importance of these publications. It would be unconscionable for WikiLeaks to withhold such an archive from the public during an election. At the same time, we cannot publish what we do not have. To date, we have not received information on Donald Trump's campaign or Jill Stein's campaign or Gary Johnson's campaign or any of the other candidates that fulfill our stated editorial criteria. As a result of publishing Clinton's cables and indexing her emails, we are seen as domain experts on Clinton archives. So this is natural that Clinton sources come to us. We publish as fast as our sources will allow and as fast as the public can absorb it. This is our commitment to ourselves, our sources, and to the public. This is not due to a personal desire to influence the outcome of the election. The Democratic and Republican candidates have both expressed hostility towards whistleblowers. I spoke at the launch of the campaign of Jill Stein, the Green Party candidate, because her platform addresses the need to protect them, whistleblowers. This is an issue that is close to my heart because the Obama administration's inhumane and degrading treatment of one of our alleged sources, Chelsea Manning. But WikiLeaks publications are not an attempt to get Jill Stein elected or to take revenge over Miss Manning's treatment either. Publishing is what we do. To withhold the publication of such information until after the election would be to favor one candidate above the public's right to know. This is after all what happened when the New York Times withheld evidence of illegal mass surveillance of the U.S. population for a year until after the 2004 election, denying the public a critical understanding of the incumbent president George W. Bush, which probably secured his re-election. The current editor of the New York Times has distanced himself from that decision, and rightfully so. The U.S. public defends free speech more passionately, but the First Amendment only truly lives through its repeated exercise. The First Amendment explicitly prevents the executive from attempting to restrict anyone's ability to speak and publish freely. The First Amendment does not privilege old media with its corporate advertisers and dependency on incumbent power factions over WikiLeaks' model of scientific journalism or an individual's decision to inform their friends on social media. The First Amendment unapologetically nurtures the democratization of knowledge. With the internet, it has reached its full potential. Yet some weeks ago, in a tactic reminiscent of Senator McCarthy and the Red Scare, WikiLeaks Green Party candidate Stein, Glenn Greenwald, and Clinton's main opponent were painted with a broad red brush. The Clinton campaign, when they were not spreading obvious untruths, pointed to unnamed sources or to speculative and vague statements from the intelligence community to suggest a nefarious allegiance with Russia. The campaign was unable to invoke evidence about our publications because none exists. In the end, those who have attempted to malign our groundbreaking work over the past 4 months seek to inhibit public understanding, perhaps because it is embarrassing to them. A reason for censorship the First Amendment cannot tolerate. Only successfully do they try to claim that our publications are inaccurate. WikiLeaks' decade-long pristine record of authentication remains. Our key publications this round have even been proven through the cryptographic signatures of the companies they pass through, such as Google. It is not every day you can mathematically prove that your publications are perfect, but this day is one of them. We have endured criticism primarily from Clinton supporters for our publications. Many long-term supporters have been frustrated because we have not addressed this criticism in a systemic way or responded to a number of false narratives about WikiLeaks' motives or sources. Ultimately, however, if WikiLeaks reacted to every false claim, we would have to divert resources from our primary work. WikiLeaks, like all publishers, is ultimately accountable to its founders. These founders are you. Our resources are entirely made up of contributions from the public and our book sales. This allows us to be principled, independent, and free in a way no other influential media organization is. But it also means that we do not have the resources of CNN, MSNBC, the Clinton campaign to constantly rebuff criticism. Yet, if the press obeys considerations above informing the public, we are no longer talking about a free press. We are no longer talking about an informed public. WikiLeaks remains committed to publishing information that informs the public, even if many, especially those in power, would prefer not to see it. WikiLeaks must publish. It must publish and be damned. It must publish and be damned. This Mr. Assange is 150,000% correct. I believe Assange and WikiLeaks are heroes. I believe Chelsea Manning is a hero, and I think that anyone who informs the United States public or the world of the inner workings of the most powerful people, people who could decide the future of your daughter or your son being sent back to the Middle East. The reason that I read the entire statement is that it's very, very important, considering that you're going to have WikiLeaks 1 through 35 and WikiLeaks DNC emails number 2. They've shed light onto this election because, number one, you're going to have the Clinton Foundation in the White House if Clinton wins. Now, Trump is on his way to winning because he's doing very well in battleground states. But we know that there's 500 conflicts of interest with one WikiLeaks email. We know that Clinton Global Initiative sponsors, 3 of them, are paying Bill Clinton. We know, and this is the most important thing I'm about to tell you, and it's probably the most important thing you've heard all election, and it's why WikiLeaks is so valuable, and it's why Julian Assange is saving American democracy. There's a WikiLeaks email between Hillary Clinton and John Podesta in which she talks about 2 Middle Eastern nations funding IS in a clandestine manner. We know those 2 Middle Eastern nations are enormous contributors of the Clinton Foundation. If this is too much for Seth Meyers or John Oliver or Bill Maher or Michael Moore to understand, if this is too complicated for them because a mean old ogre Donald Trump messes with their sensibilities, well, you have to go ahead and you have to connect the dots. If there's a Clinton Foundation linked to weapons deal scandals, I'll read you really quickly. And if there's a Clinton Foundation that Hillary Clinton in one WikiLeaks email admits pertaining to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and other nations, admits that she takes money from these governments and she admits that these governments fund the enemies that your daughter, your son might be sent back to fight after we've been in perpetual war since 2002. I don't know, since 2001. I don't know what to say. It's very simple. And this election has been about personality versus horrendous policy. If Hillary Clinton wins, number one, I'm going to continue with my YouTube channel. I'm going to continue with my advocacy, my writing, everything. So I hope that you continue to watch and share this channel with your friends. I'll be there for you. I hope that you will be there for everyone around you and for me. And if Hillary Clinton wins, the first thing you have to remember is that not only does life go on, but life will actually be enjoyable waiting for the next Clinton scandal. Almost certainly, the next scandal will be about the Clinton Foundation. International Business Times, I'll read you this, and I'll do a bunch of segments today. Clinton Foundation donors got weapons deals from Hillary Clinton's State Department. Why is that important? That's important because you cannot bribe a U.S. official. 85 people gave $156 million, according to the AP, for access. One Middle Eastern nation gave $1 million to Bill Clinton's birthday for access. Hillary Clinton takes money from the same countries that fund our enemies. This is important. Even by the standards of arms deals between the United States and Saudi Arabia, this one was enormous. A consortium of American defense contractors led by Boeing would deliver $29 billion worth of advanced fighter jets to the United States' oil-rich ally. Okay, Michael Moore hates guns, but he obviously doesn't hate the $29 billion in advanced fighter jets because of Clinton Foundation contributions. He just doesn't. And that's the hypocrisy of many so-called progressives or liberals, because they're not really. They're more along, well, I have to be with Clinton because if I am shown to say that if people know that I think that Trump is the lesser evil, oh my God, I won't be cool anymore. That's really what it comes down to. The Saudi deal was one of dozens of arms sales approved by Hillary Clinton's State Department that placed weapons in the hands of governments that also donated money to the Clinton family philanthropic empire, an International Business Times investigation found. Under the Clinton leadership, the State Department approved $165 billion worth of commercial arms sales to 20 nations whose governments have given money to the Clinton Foundation. That figure derived from 3 full-scale years of Clinton's term as Secretary of State represents nearly double the value of American arms sales made to those countries and approved by the State Department during the same period under George W. Bush's second term. So you mean to tell me, under a Democratic administration, the $165 billion to the Clinton Foundation didn't make a difference? If you're voting for Hillary Clinton, you're an absolute fool if you don't think that the Clinton Foundation and money to the Clinton Foundation equals favors. You're a fool. If you're doing it because, well, it's okay because Trump says mean things, that's different. If you care about Trump's mean things, Hillary Clinton called black youth super predators. She also was part of the mass incarceration epidemic. She also evolved towards gay marriage in 2013. We can go on forever. She pushed for the Trans-Pacific Partnership over 45 times. She was all right with Keystone. She was inclined to promote the Keystone XL pipeline. Give me your thoughts below. Election day is today. WikiLeaks has been very heroic, and Assange is one of the heroes of this election. And I had to read the entire statement because I want you to go ahead right now, buy some gear at the WikiLeaks shop, only the WikiLeaks shop. And I'm going to buy gear, and vote your conscience. I'm voting for Dr. Jill Stein. If you think that Trump is the lesser evil, then vote your conscience. Give me your thoughts below. Election day today. WikiLeaks 35 is out. My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. And to read my writing and to see my latest CNN appearances and my MSNBC appearances, you can go to hagoodman.com. WikiLeaks 35 is out. WikiLeaks 35 is out, and of course, I left out of my intro the RT appearance. My RT appearance is below in a link to RT's Crosstalk. I look forward to future appearances on Crosstalk and other RT shows very soon. WikiLeaks 35 is out. I'm going to read you first. Assange was a whistleblower, a legitimate, honest whistleblower who helped this country with information that the government wanted to hide. Chelsea Manning is in prison, living a life of torture, had her second suicide attempt. That is the type of world we live in. In that type of world, WikiLeaks is very much needed, because it informs the public and it sheds light upon all the information the government does not want you to know, especially the inner working with the Clinton campaign. In a world where the FBI director could not find intent, literally basically saying that Hillary Clinton was too stupid, she was too ignorant and naive to realize that 22 top secret emails with special access program intelligence on an unencrypted private server connected to a BlackBerry the NSA said she couldn't use. Literally, she was too stupid to believe, Hillary Clinton, that that was bad. So there was no intent to break laws. That's the type of world we live in. Meanwhile, Chelsea Manning, who's of a campaign that might win today. Now, I believe Trump, if everything's fair, Trump wins. If there's election fraud, almost certain, that's the way the Clinton campaign operates. We know from Bernie Sanders. Another reason why WikiLeaks DNC emails are important. WikiLeaks is important. We know Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. 4 other officials, DNC officials, were forced to resign because of DNC WikiLeaks emails. WikiLeaks has shed light upon a very corrupt system. I'm going to get right now to a statement on the U.S. election. I view Julian Assange to be a hero. I view WikiLeaks to be heroes. So the men and women of WikiLeaks have done a great service to the United States of America in a world where New York Times journalists and other publications are giving John Podesta, and the Clinton campaign articles to edit. In a society where CNN has two people, Donna Brazile and Wolf Blitzer, colluding on questions